Hi, and welcome to the third and final part in our series introducing multi-channel funnels. If you missed either of the first two parts of this series, you can find them at the Facts and Figures blog at appliedwebanalytics.com. Today we're looking at how you can use multi-channel funnels to increase your profits by optimizing your marketing activities and your site. Let's begin. The report we're going to focus on today is the Assisted Conversions report, and this is where you can find the most immediately actionable results. This is where we'd encourage you to immediately begin to focus your time. To give you a recap, we have a number of figures here, some of which will be familiar to us. The last interaction conversion value is essentially the transaction value. This is the financial value you are used to seeing in Google Analytics. But we now also have the assisted conversion value. So these are instances where a channel brought a customer to your site on a previous occasion prior to the visit with the transaction. So we can see here, for instance, referrals appear to have more assisted conversions than last interaction conversions. This is demonstrated by the ratio here. If it's above 1, that suggests there's something worth looking at, especially with regards to the assisted conversions. But beware, there's a very easy mistake to make here, and I've seen it across a lot of blogs, a lot of very respectable sources. But there's a high risk of double counting. Some of this assisted conversion value is likely to already be included in the last interaction conversion value. If the channel was involved both as an assist and as a last interaction, then it will be counted twice. So the first thing we need to do before getting too excited about referrals is find out how much of this 85,000 is already counted in this 56,000. So what we do is open up conversion segments, and here's one I made earlier. If we open it up to have a look, these are very similar to advanced segments. Now, it's beyond the scope of our tutorial here to teach you everything about segmenting, but if you'll excuse a small plug, it's a very powerful feature. Advanced segmenting across the whole site is very powerful, and if you don't use it, I'd encourage you to find out. And one way of doing that would be to get in touch with us here at Applied Web Analytics. That's my plug over. Let's have a look at this conversion segment. So the main difference between this and an advanced segment is you can set it based on when the interaction occurred. So this is set for a last interaction with a medium containing referral, and you save it. You may find there's a slight pause with loading. I've noticed, especially while version 5 is in the beta stage, things do move a bit slower than you expect at times. So this is set to show all conversions and the ones which had a last interaction from a referral source. So if we scan down, we can now see our referrals broken down by which assisted any type of conversion and which assisted one which referrals were already taking the credit for the conversion. So 15,000, in fact almost 16,000 of this 85,000 was already being counted in this 56,000. But that still leaves around 70,000 of assisted conversions which the referral was involved in addition to the 56,000 which it closed. So this fairly clearly illustrates the power of multi-channel funnels. We've got some immediately actionable findings here. Referrals are clearly much more important than we previously realised, or at least they appear to be. The only way to know for sure is testing. Let me just talk you through an example. Suppose you own a car showroom. Now you're obviously a great salesman, but there's a new guy and he's a bad salesman. And he stands by the door, he's very eager, and each time a customer arrives, he pounces on them. He tells them everything, he goes on and on and on, but those that want to buy a car look around, see you, come over, and they still persist and eventually make the sale. Now what's the guy at the front, the bad salesman, gonna say? "Oh, I warmed them up for you. I got them just ready. They were just right. I sent them your way to close the deal." When in actual fact, they merely annoyed them, probably drove some away. Now this is the question with an assist. Is an assisted conversion in actual fact something that just got in the way, like the bad salesman? Did one of your sources persistently get in the way of people who eventually became customers, but at the time not sell them something? And in that case, is the assisted conversion value misleading you into thinking it's of real value? Well, I would say the odds are slim. The likelihood is that a source which consistently assists in a web environment is genuinely adding value. But keeping the bad salesman in mind, we've got to be cautious and you have to test your findings. We can now use conversion segments again, this time setting it to show us all of the conversions in which referrals played an assisting role. This now shows us for each channel the value of conversions for which referrals assisted. Which leads us to one critical question. Should the referrals take some of the credit for these other sales? Have we been undervaluing referrals in general on this site, or were they like the bad car salesman, just in the way at the right time? Well, the only way to find out is to test. So for instance, if we spend more time or money on referrals, do the channels in which referrals provide assists also benefit? And using this conversion segment view, we'll be able to see the results of any testing broken down by channel. So, using this, you're now equipped to identify channels which you may have been undervaluing, to then identify the genuine additional benefit that they've been providing to avoid the mistake of double counting. And then, having identified what appear to be undervalued channels, such as in this case referrals, to test and observe your results. Have you been missing opportunities in undervalued channels? Does increased focus on them lead to better results for your money and better results across the other channels that they appear to be assisting? And ultimately, through this process, you should be able to further optimize your marketing activities and increase your profits. So that brings us to the end of our series on multi-channel funnels. I hope you found that helpful. And if you have anything you would like further assistance with, please do get in touch with us at appliedwebanalytics.com. Thanks and goodbye.